Hey guys, this is Sarah and today I'm doing my February wrap-up. Before I get down to the books, I want to mention something that's going to affect my videos in the next couple of months. I am running out of batteries. And for some of you, that's like a really dumb problem. It's just like, okay, go to the store and buy some more. But in my lovely, lovely country, I can't do that because, one, you can't find them, or two, if you do find them, they cost the equivalent of $500 or more to buy 4 batteries. So I have to wait for someone who is going to travel here to bring me a big pack of batteries from the US so that I can use them. Sort of similar to how I got my books in Christmas. Because of that, the amount of videos that I'm going to be making is going to go down. I am going to stop doing my book reviews and any tags that I get tagged in until I get new batteries. So once I get more batteries, I'll go back. I'll probably either do some of the reviews that I missed that are written and make those and add those as little extras, or who knows. But don't be afraid to tag me in tags. I will do them at some point, just not in the near future. Now on to the books that I read this month. I am so incredibly proud of myself because I read 15 things. I read 2 novellas and 13 novels, and I am so proud of myself because I finished 4 series. No, wait, no, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 series this month, and it's like... So, let's talk about the books that I read. The first sort of thing that I read this month was a sneak peek of A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I got this free from NetGalley and I absolutely loved it. It's so good. A Darker Shade of Magic is officially out and it's the first thing that I'm going to buy as soon as I have enough money and I'm allowed to buy something on Kindle, and you know I will be reading that ASAP because that sneak peek was brilliant. The next book that I read was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. If you don't know, I have a video review of this up on my channel, and I'll leave the link down below so you guys can hear my thoughts. Next, I read my TBR jar pick for the month, which was Chatter Me by Tahira Mafi, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I have some confusing thoughts, because the way that the fans of the series portray the male protagonists are different than my thoughts on this first book of the male protagonist. So, when my dystopian month comes, which is soon, I will be reading the rest of that series to find out what the heck happened to change everyone's minds. Next, I read Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. Honestly, I don't know which. I think I liked this one the best out of everything. Not only because of the setting, which is in San Francisco, which I went and spent an entire Christmas in San Francisco and it was awesome and I love that city, but because the characters in this book are all so freaking quirky. And it's insane. So, yes, I really enjoyed this one. And I am glad that I have it and held it while I read it. It made me feel special. Then I read The Fallen 5 by Thomas E. Snigoski, the last book in the Fallen series, and I'm so happy I finished it. That last book, man. It's called Armageddon. And that's pretty much all I can say for you to describe the crazy that happens. I was really, really satisfied with the ending. There were some things that I was just like, dang it, but overall it was very, very, very good. And I am so happy that that series is under my belt. It's a really great series, solid 4 stars in the first 4 books and 5 stars in those last few books. It's just good. Read it. Then I read Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins, and in the beginning, to be honest, I thought I was going to give it 4 stars. I was having a lot of issues with Isla and with the setting, which was misleading, and then something happened and I realized how similar I am to Isla, which is not good because her trait that she showed that made us similar is not a good one. It's a very negative trait, and it was very strange to recognize myself in a book, and that's why I gave the entire series 4 stars. It's a solid 4-star because I connected with her on a level that I didn't realize I was going to connect to. It was like out of left field, and I couldn't give it 3 stars after that. I just couldn't. Then I read Finale by Becca Fitzpatrick, the last book in the Hush Hush series, and I hate this book. I'm sorry. I said last month after reading the 3rd book that I felt like it could have been closed with 3 books, and that this 4th book felt like completely unnecessary extra things, and I was completely right. It just, I don't like it. I really, really don't like it. I hated it. It was the dumbest ending of a series ever. If you'd like to hear all of my very, very angry thoughts, I will be leaving a full-length written review on my Goodreads page. So, that's going to be fun. Then I read Just One Day by Gail Forman, and I absolutely adored it. I fell in love with her writing style, with the story, with the characters. It was just all around amazingness, and I was incredibly and totally desperate to continue, and I'm so happy that I did. I will definitely be checking her out more. Then I read Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, and if you'd like to hear all my awesome, swoony, super happy thoughts about this book, I have a video review which I will link down below. Then I read Just One Year by Gail Forman because obviously I fell in love with Just One Day and I had to continue, and I love this one probably the same amount as the first one. It was such an interesting twist. I definitely didn't see the point of view coming. I thought it would like be a continuation, and it kind of wasn't. You went backwards again. But the cliffhangers in this duology, it's so annoying. Every time you get to the end, it's like a huge cliffhanger, which is why the next thing that I read was Just One Night by Gail Forman, the novella set after the 2nd book, because I was like, how can you just leave it like that? How do you just leave someone hanging like that? That's not okay. And I'm so happy she did that novella because she would have a lot of people holding pitchforks and like fire coming at her if she hadn't. And I just absolutely adored this duology. I'm so happy I read it, and I'm definitely going to check out more Gail Forman. Then I read The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith, and it was so cute. It was really, really cute. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like, I'm not like obsessed with it. It wasn't the greatest contemporary romance of the month, but it was really enjoyable. The characters were really cute, and it had some depth to it. Not a huge amount, but it had some depth to it. It's definitely a solid 4-star book if you guys would like to check it out. Then I read Two-Way Street by Lauren Barnholt, and this was a reread for me. I wanted to finish this duology, so I picked the 1st book back up to reread it, and I'm so glad I did because it's just as enjoyable. It's just as enjoyable the 2nd time around. I loved the story. I love the timeline things because the story is like past and present every few chapters, and it's really cool, and it keeps it mysterious, and I really liked it. Then I read Sam Cruise's Infallible Guide to Getting Girls by Tallulah Darling, and I was the most excited about this book, and to be honest, I was a little disappointed. I had a lot of issues with the writing style, with how the characters were presented, and just general plot things. But it was really funny. It's a really, really, really funny book. I laughed my butt off throughout the whole thing. The review will explain all of my thoughts. It has a high rating for me because it was funny. That's pretty much it. Because I have a lot of issues with the story itself, but I laughed, which means some part of me enjoyed it, which means it was average. It was okay. Make sure you follow me on Goodreads to see that review, because it's going to be interesting. And the last book that I read this month was Right of Way by Lauren Barnholt. This is the second book in the Two-Way Street duology, and the only one I haven't read. And although I enjoyed this, I definitely liked the first book better. It's a companion novel and not a continuation, which bothered me a little bit, even though you get some information about the main characters in the first book. In this one, they're not the main storyline, and this leaves at a sort of unresolved ending, which annoys me, especially because there's no novella, there's no other book, there's no resolution. And although I really enjoyed it, I wish it would have had a tighter close. So those were all the books that I read this month. I'm so proud of myself that I read so many, because I started work like the third week of February, and it's crazy. I am an English teacher for third graders, and it's insanity. Obviously, March is not going to be as big of a reading month because I'll be working 4 days a week, and it's in the afternoons, and I get home really late at night and exhausted. But I'm happy that I got so many books off my TBR this month, especially because of the changes coming. So let me know your thoughts on the books that I read this month. Let me know if you've read any of them. Let me know your thoughts on them. Let me know what books you read this month, what books you'll be reading next month. Anyway, let's just talk, okay? Let's chat. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!